Today, I'm meeting with Maximilian Briand, a young composer who submitted a track to our April 2023 composing competition. We're going to listen to his music, and then I'll give him feedback and recommendations for how he can make the submission stronger. We're then going to meet up after 1 week and listen to his revision to hear if he was able to implement my advice and hopefully see if it made the piece better. Let's start by listening to the original submission. I like the meditative quality of kind of the harp, that it's kind of lulling, and I think that makes sense for the space. I think it might be a little too fast, like a little aggressive from the picture. It feels like kind of a holy place, and especially there's this kind of spiritual character illuminated that is in some sort of peaceful meditation. So I think the energy level could probably scale back. Like around 1 minute, I thought the piano was too aggressive, but I think it's because overall the tempo is maybe just a little too hurried. And I would maybe try slowing it down, which means you're gonna have to cut some things for time, right? I think the main thing I would focus on is more shape. So actually at the very end, you had this really nice, delicate harp thing. I might start there a little quieter, with this kind of like quieter thing, and give yourself room to grow. Because for the most part, it's pretty steady. And then at the end, we get that like nice little break, but it was too long of kind of the same energy before we got there. Maybe start with that little gentler part. Maybe then it gets more building and the piano is kind of more energetic and it kind of reaches a peak with the horn, and then it can kind of come back down if there's time, or maybe you just have to reach that peak and that's it. I think you can also breathe a little more and allow some room before your ideas, because you're kind of just like one idea is just kind of spilling into another idea. And I think it's okay to kind of say like, here's this first gentle harp part. Now let's bring in the piano, for example. Now let's like kind of get the energy going. Then what happens next? Instead of it all just kind of like constantly flowing into each other. I think for the competition, it's really strong to have multiple sections that have each kind of their distinct flavor, or at least a certain level of intensity that kind of builds, because it keeps it interesting. Yeah, the balance I think is a little off. The horn is kind of far away and quiet sounding, and the harp is like very close. I guess if you're deciding this is going to be this small ensemble of instruments, you need to kind of picture that room. What does that look like? What does that sound like as far as where they're sitting? Because I think we need more of the horns. If possible, you might want to ramp it up with strings or something as well as kind of background support.
And how should I use the strings, do you think?
As a way to make the middle kind of bigger, you could just use pads or something, you know, just very simple swells or just kind of nice warm-bodied chords underneath, to not overcomplicate it, to not make the strings of the star. That would also, I think, help you have more things to be able to grow with, right? You'll be able to be like, okay, for the middle now we bring in the strings, which adds new color and new extra body and fullness. Well, good luck.
Thank you.
I look forward to hearing version 2.
Yeah, it will be done.
Okay.
And,
all right, good. So I tried not to overwhelm Max with too many points, but focus on a few key bits of advice. He went back to work on his track, and a week later, we met up again. How did it go?
I started with the harp at the beginning. Everything is slower. I add the strings, and I have, like I said, changed it, the way the piece is structured. It's not every instrument plays every time. It's sometimes the horn take the turn, then there's the piano, and then flutes, for example. And I tried some things with the mixing.
Okay.
So I have here a drawing and try to have an instrument, place it like in a room,
Right.
and I retranscribe it in the mix.
Let's check it out.
Yes.
I think this is really good. I think it's a significant improvement, much better shape and form as far as just making it a journey and telling a story. I think that's good.
Just the little things you said, it really switched off the way I make this music, and just thinking about, oh, how to make a better structure, just something that clicked in my mind, and yeah, it's really great.
Thank you, Max, for volunteering to go through this publicly. You can find him on YouTube under the name Farast. I'll put a link to his channel in the description. One of the things we talked about was transitions, and convincing transitions might be the thing holding back your music from being as effective as you want it to be. That's why you can't miss this video here, where I show you how to bridge the gap between two different sections in a smooth and musical way. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.